next update comes out in over an hour. Hopefully it won't rain this afternoon to go bike riding. But they're predicting showers today. Okay. Oh, YouTube is on. So this storm does not look good. So there it is right now. And it's predicted to rapidly intensify. At least that's what they're saying. Now this is the Euro model. So let's zoom out a little bit. I pay for this. This is premium. Let's fast forward. Now, if this goes a little bit closer, when I say closer to the Gulf Coast of Florida, the storm surge here could be bad. That's what they're all keeping an eye on. Right there, this surge of water coming up here. They're really concerned about that right now, especially in here. Now this is the Euro. The Euro has it a little bit to the west. And it's moving fast. So I'm trying to get a little back. So there is what the Euro is predicting. Landfall. But this water that's going to be pushing up, and it's shallow water. Look at this. Look at this water just coming up. And even these coastal areas getting inundated with storm surge. That's the problem. And if that shifts a little bit more to the east, it will be even worse for those Gulf Coast Florida areas. So this is not good. Now that's the Euro. The American has it slightly to the east. But they're predicting a Cat 3 here. Look at that. And the wind field tropical storm is big on this storm. And it's, look at the size of this storm. And that's not, look at the satellite imagery. But we can't look at this now because this is a future wind field. Oh no. What is it, Mom? He's under your bed. Look at the size of this storm. This is a big system. And it's intensifying. You can see it's got that flow coming in. This is not good. So people need to prepare for this. This is not like one of those, maybe. By looking at this, I'd be preparing. Anywhere along the Gulf Coast of Florida, pretty much from mid to upper, there could be some minor storm surge lower or south. But right now, that's not good. And like I said, they're predicting rapid intensification here. This thing is going over open water now. And the crazy thing, which I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but look what they're predicting for next week. So that's current. Well, that's actually Thursday afternoon. Look what happens next week. Let's skip to Friday. Now again, this is a far out model. Look at that. Another system going in the same general area. Now again, this model is 10 days out. Not to be an alarmist, because but look where this one is predicting. More to the west. So that's bad. Now, I don't know what the Euro's showing. Okay, so the Euro has a system there, but not fully developed right there. So they're both saying something is going to develop already in the Gulf again for next week. Now, obviously, these models change. It's 10 days out. But already they're indicating something else developing, both of them. When both of them are doing that, you got to keep an eye. So they're saying another system may be developing here in the Gulf next week. Now the American is, like I always say, is not as reliable as the Euro. But the American has something right there, very close to where the other one is. But this one looks like it's shifting more toward Louisiana on this model, 10 days away. Not to be really reliable here. But, of course, the focus is on this one right now. But that ain't good. That is not good. See, it's still interacting with land. But once it gets over that open water, that's where it'll start intensifying. At least that's what's predicted. Because there's no land interaction, there's nothing to interfere with the development of this system. There's also another system affecting Mexico, Acapulco, but the main focus is for all of us really here in the United States is looking at this one. And I'm going to tell you, those coastal areas, Gulf Coast areas of Florida really need to keep an eye on this for storm surge right along the coast. Because if this thing drifts a little bit more to the east, then you get that onshore flow affecting here. They're definitely somewhere in here, Panama City, between Panama City and I would say it's probably going to be somewhere in here. Cedar Key, somewhere in here is where landfall is probably going to happen. I'm going to put the map up a little further. This is the American. Okay, it looks like this one has it more to the east. Oh, there it is. It's moving fast. Thank gosh it's moving fast. Okay, yep. Just as I said, right between Panama City and Cedar Key. Look at this onshore flow. Now, if this is a Category 3, the storm surge here could be catastrophic. Let's see what the Euro's saying. See, the Euro has it a little bit more to the west. Still between Panama City and Cedar Key. So somewhere in here, both models are pretty agreeing. Right now, it's narrowing down to like right here. But look at this water. If this is true, look at this water on the right side quadrant of the hurricane, the windy side. Right there. Look at that water that's going to rush into that area. That's not good. So the folks that live in this area, I'm sure either voluntary or mandatory evacuations are underway here for this area. Because, like I said, they're predicting a Cat 3. That's a major hurricane. So, and I'm going to look now. The next update comes out in an hour. Let's go to NOAA, the Hurricane Center. Because there was an update this morning at 8 Eastern. Let's see what they're saying. Okay. As of, well, 8 o'clock here. Helene is forecast to intensify, be near hurricane strength when it passes near the northeastern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula during the next several hours, where a hurricane warning is in effect. It's expected to rapidly intensify and grow in size over the eastern Gulf of Mexico. There is a danger of life-threatening storm surge along the entire west coast, the Gulf Coast of the Florida Peninsula, just like I was just saying. And in the Florida Big Bend, that's that area where the eye. Residents in those areas should follow advice given by local officials and evacuate if told to do so. Damaging hurricane force winds are expected along portions of the coast of the Florida Big Bend, that area, that where the eye. Where a hurricane warning is now in effect, preparations to protect life and property should be completed by early Thursday, since tropical storm conditions are expected to begin within the area on Thursday. And then it talks about bringing all the heavy rain, significant flooding, western Cuba, which it's already moving north. Urban flooding expected across portions of Florida, the southeast, Appalachians, southern Appalachian, and the Tennessee Valley. So I just want to see the cone. So M, they're predicting major hurricane. That's what that M means. That's category 3. You see the H, hurricane. M, major. So the next update comes out at 11 Eastern, so like in an hour. So right now it's not technically as of 7 a.m. It's here. They do have an H here, but I don't know. Let's look at the wind sustained. Okay, and we have to look at that pressure. So the winds are at 70. Not quite yet. Not quite. It's moving at 9. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. Now I'm going to check radar Omega, which I pay for. All right, let's go. Let's zoom in a little. See, it's still a tropical storm, technically. The millibars was 986. If that drops, when that drops, then that means the storm is getting stronger. So that's just a prediction. That's the latest right here. So let's look. It was 997, 991, 986, and currently 979. So the the storm is intensifying. That's how you know with the millibars, the pressure. So obviously, this is the prediction. This is not yet. That says forecast time 2 o'clock this afternoon. Got to keep an eye on the pressure, and that'll indicate intensification. It's already predicted to be a 2 here and a 3 here. Wind speed 120, maximum gusts 150. What's up, James? Long time no see. James, don't tell me like northwest Florida. Are you near the coastal area in northwest Florida? Because I hope you're not on the coastal area. Uh-oh, what's this? First look at a mystery object shot down over Canada by F-22. I can't share this because I got in trouble yesterday on YouTube for sharing something. It put, quote, stealing. What the heck? I'm going to have to look at this later. But if you're, I mean, the area of concern right here is the Big Bend. But anywhere along the coastal areas, especially in let's say Tampa, all the way up, you really need to watch this storm on the coastal areas for storm surge. Because if this track goes slightly more to the east, you're going to get inundated with storm surge here. And the tropical force winds are going to be large around this storm because it's big. All right, I don't delete that, James. I don't want people. I'm going to look on the map. Excuse me. I want to see where that is. Let's see. I'm going to look at a map to see where you are generally. Okay, you're far to the west, and you're on the rain side of this. Yeah, you're far to the west, so that's good. You would be on the rain side. So just to give folks an idea, he's somewhere, well, it's right there on the map. He's around here. So, but you also need to watch. You also need to watch because it's a Cat 1 even up here. See that? Way up here? It's still going to be a Cat 1. You need to watch to see where this storm goes because hurricanes, they're really not predictable. They can wobble. They can go slightly this way, that way. I mean, until landfall happens, we won't really know. But the overall motion of the storm is west, northwest, northwest. See? And then ending up over here. So, you know, you got to keep an eye on it. I would not, I mean, you're too close for comfort. But I think right now, based on the models, you should be fine. Based on the models. Because both the Euro and the American, I'm going to bring that up in a second. Both the Euro and the American are kind of agreeing. So that's the Euro. And I've always said, and I'll stick to my guns. I just hit my mouse, so I was drinking coffee. The Euro has been more reliable than the American, historically. So you're not even in the picture here, where you live. Anything on the right side is where the real concern is. That right side quadrant. You look at that onshore wind. coming in, that storm surge, that could happen. I'm not saying it's going to, because again, it's just a model. That's a landfall. Now they're saying category 3, wind sustained 120, gusts of 150. Can you imagine? Look at this bubble of wind field here. Can you imagine this flow coming in to the Big Bend? The storm surge here? Potentially? That's catastrophic. Now, the American has it a little bit more to the east. Not to the west, not towards you, to the east. So the models are predicting definitely to the east of you, James. They're not predicting anything going west. The models are pretty much in here. Right in here. Again, that's the American. Look where the Euro is. So they're right next to each other right now. And remember, this is 36 hours away predicted for landfall. Less? Maybe, yeah, about 36. Maybe less. Then you got to watch out. What's the high tide cycle here at this time when this makes landfall? Is it going to be close to high tide, low tide? That's a game changer in itself. So this could be potentially a very dangerous situation here. Not good. I have to say, this is not good. So what I'm going to do now is, let's see, let's go in. I'm going to pick, it's better probably off using Google Maps. Let's go to Google Maps. The next update is in less than an hour from the Hurricane Center. Let's go to Google Maps. There's a reason why I'm doing this. Always a method. Okay. Oh my God, if the water goes into there. So it definitely looks like, oh my God, these folks need to get out. No doubt about that. Those folks need to go. Evacuate. I wouldn't doubt there's mandatory. The water would rush right into here. Depending on where the eye comes in, that water could just flow right in here. Look at this. Now remember where we're looking here. Right in the Big Bend, where the wind is predicted on the Euro to come right into here. So that water is going to be pushing right into that bay there. So these people are very vulnerable, potentially. Now, potentially because we don't know where the eye's going to make landfall. Based on the Euro model, it's not good. So these places here, right here, not good. Not good. Thank God it doesn't look too populated. It's a lot of wildlife. You could see it's not a heavily populated area in here. Inland, you know, they'll feel the effects because they're right there. Potentially in here. because it's not far from the shore. So this area really needs to keep an eye out right in here. And even on the right side, because we have to see where this eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm curious. Alligator Point. Oh, you got to, now that needs to be evacuated. Absolutely mandatory. On a barrier island like that, surrounded by water, if that hurricane comes in here, it's just going to ride right over. The water's just going to flood right in there. That's a dangerous situation. Alligator Point. So let's bring this down. There's Alligator Point right there. The eye is predicted to go right over that. And look at this surge coming in. Let's back it out. Let's see as it approaches. This is the Euro. And look at Alligator Point. Now, remember, the strongest winds are in here. Predicted to be 120 sustained, gust to 150 in a Cat 3. There's Alligator Point. There's what we were just showing on the map right here. Look at the water coming into that bay. Pushing in with these high winds here. That water is just going to push right into there. It's moving fast. That is the one thing I will say. Thank God it's a fast mover. But look, the eye is going to go right over Alligator Point based on this model. But the American has it more slightly to the east here, which would actually be great for the folks here on the left side of the storm because the winds are on this side. So that would affect the storm surge here. Like Cedar Key, as we back it out a little bit, as it approaches. So this is the American. Now, another possible scenario is if this were to even go more to the east. Oh my, the storm surge here could be really bad. It would shift to the east, obviously. But the surge coming in here, this is again the American model. The surge coming into this area here, so it would shift more to the east and south instead of over here. So that's why people need to watch this pretty much from Panama City all the way to Cedar Key. They need to watch. What's up, Jade? Yeah, there's always a chance. Oh, James, you're fine. I'm telling you, you're going to be okay. I can't swear to it because like it can shift, but all the models are showing either Apalachicola and points east, not west, where you are. So, and I'm sure they got mandatory evacuations going on in these coastal areas. I mean, to me, that would be a no-brainer. But another thing to emphasize is the size of this storm. This is a big, well, not yet. They say it's going to intensify rapidly. And they say it's going to get large in size. So you might not live here, but you're still going to feel tropical storm in central Florida, northern Florida, into Georgia. You're going to feel the effects of this. So do not put your guard down as far as that's concerned. Now look at the size of it already, and it's still interacting with land. the eye is not even noticeable yet. The eye is somewhere probably over land right now. But once this thing goes over open water and it has that energy coming from the Gulf, the warm water, that's why they're predicting it to rapidly intensify. This thing is just gonna explode. But look how large it is already. And another thing to always watch is the inflow, which it has, and the storms that develop around it. And right now, there is already a lot of energy associated to this storm. Look at the size of it. So as this thing comes up, you don't think it's going to affect this whole area? Of course it will. So this needs to watch. Here's another system here. We're not worried about that right now. The focus is here. And like I said, the next alert comes out in about 40 minutes. But this is where they're forecasting on radar Omega. Right in here. Now remember where that we were just looking at that bay right in here. And that strip, the barrier island here. And where's the track forecasted? Right here. They're on the right side. Based on radar Omegas, taking the models, and they're probably using the Euro. But that's forecasted to be a Cat 3. Sustained winds at 120, maximum gust at 150. Now remember, that's around the eye wall. That's bad. So they're saying, look at this. Look how fast this is here now. This is predicted for 2 o'clock. It'll be here tomorrow afternoon. So you're looking at the evening hours here. So now, what was the name of that island that was in there? Alligator Point. Okay. So remember, tomorrow evening, let's see when the high tide, low tide is. So tomorrow, okay, so it'll be low tide at 4:21. High tide is at 11:27. That's today. I'm looking. Okay, the 26th. Low tide, high tide, 8:22. So it looks like it's going to be after midnight. Yes, slightly after midnight. It's high tide right here. The morning of the 27th. Right there. So at 12:16 a.m. local time, it's high tide Friday morning. So at night. 12:16. Their low tide is at 5:45. So timing is everything of this storm. Hopefully this storm comes in at least during a low tide cycle and not later on in the evening at night where it's high tide. That's why I was looking that up for this area. because that's important too, the tides. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. Now I'm sure, and I'm not going to put it on the screen, but I'm sure there's probably evacuations going on. And I'm going to check now. We're going to keep an eye in a half hour on the Hurricane Center, but I'm going to read it. Let's see. Okay. Yep, there it is. Let me shut that sound off. I'll just lower that. It says it right here. Mandatory evacuations issued in many Big Bend counties ahead of Helene. And it has the list of the counties. So they're already doing it, which is the right thing to do. I'm looking it up right now. Oh my God, my phone is going crazy. Let me just put, because there was another storm that affected this area not too long ago. Okay, I'm looking. Even Sarasota County is, okay, right here. These are live updates. This is what they're saying here. The highest landfall probability was somewhere along the eastern part of the Florida Panhandle, including the Big Bend area. They're saying here, near where Helene makes landfall, generally 8 to 12 inches of rain is expected, with 2 feet of rain possible in isolated areas. 3 counties in the Big Bend coast of Florida, where storm surge could reach heights of 15 feet, issued mandatory evacuation orders for all residents and visitors in its jurisdiction. Officials in Wakulla, Franklin, and Taylor counties, home to about 69,000 people, warned residents of the danger posed by the storm and urged them to take it seriously. And this is what the sheriff said in Taylor County. Hurricane Helene is predicted to be a catastrophic and life-threatening storm system. This system will be unlike anything we've experienced to date. A curfew is in effect from sunset to sunrise. Repeat, this is a mandatory evacuation order for everyone. That's what the sheriff said in Taylor County. 17 other counties stretching across the western coast of the state, from the Panhandle to just south of Sarasota, announced mandatory or voluntary evacuations, according to the Florida Division of Emergency Management. So Rick Minor, a county commissioner in Leon County, which encompasses Tallahassee, urged residents to take the approaching storm seriously. In an email to constituents on Tuesday night, Minor said he was briefed by Leon County emergency management officials who said that if the current track holds, Leon County will suffer a direct hit. Quote, on Thursday, we'll face about 6 hours of sustained winds of 74 to 110 mile per hour winds, leading to thousands of downed trees, more than 100 blocked roads, and hundreds of damaged structures, and many, many days of extended power outages, he said. But we mustn't panic. Fortunately, we have enough time to carefully plan and prepare. So, according to the National Weather Service in Tallahassee, Helene could render some areas uninhabitable for weeks or months. Widespread power and communication outages are also expected for prolonged periods. For those living in Wakulla, Franklin, and Taylor counties, National Weather Service forecasters offer a grim wake-up call hours after emergency managers ordered all county residents to evacuate. This forecast, if realized, is a nightmare surge scenario for Appalachia Bay. That's what I was showing earlier. Please, please, please take any evacuation orders seriously. So that's what I was saying earlier, and that's what I was focused on, because that water could rush right into there. This is the area, seriously, that I was showing before of concern. If the track goes the way they think, this is the right quadrant, and the water is going to be pushed in, because the eye is going to be right about here forecasted. So they're on the right and the north right part of the quadrant, where that wind is going to push all this water. And here's that bay they're really concerned about right here. And this Alligator Point. So this is not good. But then again, that's if the track is going to take this path, which we don't know. And we won't know until it gets really close. I'm going to zoom out. So there it is right there. This is the euro. Let's back it up. So there it is. The eye going just right over pretty much Alligator Point. But look at this wind field driving that water, that storm surge into this area. And that's when it makes landfall. If we could back it up a little, that wind is going to take the water right into that bay. Right in there. That water is going to go right into that bay. That's what they're really worried about, the storm surge here. It's really hard. This storm is a fast mover, so it's hard to... Okay. See, it even jogged up that quick. So yeah, this is the area of concern on this track. See, it's hard to skip it. But yeah, based on the wind and the direction of the wind pushing this water in. But again, the American has it more to the east. Now, by tonight, we get a better idea, because they'll get closer together and they'll get a better idea what the track is going to be. But this is as of this morning, you can see the hurricane warnings. Let's look at the storm surge, peak surge, right in that area, 10 to 15. Five to 10 here. And that's the area we just focused on. And the next update comes out in about a half hour, less than a half hour. This was as of 8 o'clock Eastern. Actually, this is 5 a.m. on the storm surge forecast. This one was probably... And we got to watch the pressure. The pressure here. It's because this system is still way down to the south. Okay. There's the warnings, hurricane warnings. Look at the tropical storm warning surrounding Florida. That's why I said this storm is going to be big. It's going to take a big area as it moves north. So you're still going to feel it, the effects in the entire state of Florida. Possibly into Georgia. So there's a lot of concern here. And then it's going to curve toward the left. And that has to do probably with a high pressure, a low pressure. Let's see. Let's see what the heck is going on here. That's just a mess. That is a mess. I'm going to the American. I'm in the Euro. See, now they're both, see now based on the last model, they're getting closer. They're really getting closer now. So there's, you could see the steering currents. But I don't see that. Let me skip up a little bit. Let's go to Friday. So the system is here. Wow, that's going to bring a lot of rain. But as I was showing earlier, the crazy thing is, and I don't trust it, I'm just saying that right off the bat. I don't trust it, but look what they're saying next week. What is that? Now you cannot see, look at a model 10 days out and look at that as predictable and accurate. The scary thing here is, look at this strong high pressure here. Look how it's going to push it. There's no way this thing is going this way. So these steering currents are going to probably push it more to the west this time. If this model sets up, that is a strong high pressure. There's actually another system down there. And another one there. Look at this. 1, 2, and 3. Wow. That's not good. But again, this is 10 days out. And that's the American. The Euro is my friend. I like the Euro. But the Euro is showing a system here. And they're showing a system here. So what the heck? There is definitely, the Euro has a system here too. Right there. Now what does that do once, let me see what they're predicting. Which way is this thing moving? Okay, it's over the Yucatan. And now it's going into the Gulf. But which way is it moving? Oh, that could, well, again, this is 10 days out. It's not reliable. But they have, both models have a system in the Gulf next week. When both of them are kind of close in agreement of a system here, well, that's not good either. And they both agree on another system here. But I'll say it one more time. It's 10 days out. See? The American has a system here, and the American has a system here. The Euro has it here. And the Euro and the American agree there's something here. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on your weather. Again, 10 days out. I'll say one more time. Unreliable. But still something to keep in mind of another system going into the Gulf. But this one, because of this high and the steering currents, is going to push it more to the west. If this comes to fruition, we probably could see it bouncing to the west. See? See, it's going, shifting to the west because of that high. The steering currents is going to push it more to the west. And there's nothing here to influence it to push it this way. So, got to keep an eye on that. But that's a long, that's over a week from now. The focus is this right now. So, James, for you, good morning, Candace. If you're still there, next week, midweek, keep an eye on your weather. Keep an eye on this system. Because this is, if this comes to fruition, this is going to be more to the west. Now, the one thing about a hurricane, when a hurricane, and the Gulf is not a deep water area, it's considered shallow. So when it brings up that water from the depth, it's colder water. So that this hurricane that's going through the Gulf now can actually bring up all that colder water deeper to the surface, where another system doesn't have that same energy to feed on because the water is colder. Does that make sense? Because that's how it works. The water's disturbed. Will the Gulf retain its warmth at the surface in 10 days when another system comes in there? That it has that ability to feed off that energy off the warm water after this one is going through? But the problem is, if the next one, if it happens, is more to the west, the water is not as disturbed here. It's going to happen here. So the next system, if it happens, is focused. Look at this. That's a major hurricane, not a major, that's a hurricane again. But like I just said, if the water is disturbed enough, or it brings that colder water from deeper to the surface, it doesn't have the same ability to feed off that warm water. Because it's shallow, it's considered shallow. So there's a lot of things to look at here. But the bad thing is, like I said, the steering winds, look at them, from this high. And again, this high could not maybe be there. It could be out over here. Matter of fact, let me see where they're predicting this high moving. Okay, so that high is coming down. It's sinking. Let me look at the euro. The euro has it here up. The euro doesn't even have a high there, which is less of an influence here. So again, the models are not even agreeing right now, and I rely on the euro more. But that's next week. Forget about next week. It's all about this right now. Let's look at the satellite. Oh, there's the latest loop. It's still interacting with the Yucatan. Let's put this in motion. You could see the thunderstorm tops. You see that puffiness in there? That's intensification. But this is why, James, if you're still there, this thing right now looks like it's going more to the west. Right now. As it's growing. So depending on where this eye comes off the Yucatan Peninsula into open water, that's going to determine a lot on its path coming north. That's why you cannot keep your guard down. Panama City, you can't. Look at this thing exploding. You see how it's drifting north-northwest as it's growing in size? There's a slight movement to the west. It's very slight, but you can see it. The overall movement is like this. It's pushing this way. See how it's pushing this way? Look at it. Another way to look at it is look at these outer bands. Which way are they moving? Let's just put this here. So it all depends where this eye comes out on over the Gulf. That's going to start determining where the track is. This needs to be watched. This thing is really big. And you see the inflow? Look at the storms developing on the outside of it. That energy to feed it. Even these outer bands are getting. This could affect Florida for sure with rain. But this thing is, I have to say, it's looking impressive, and the eye is over land. Oh, this model showing the eye off the Yucatan. I don't see that on the satellite. That's what they're saying it is. Let's see if we can see the rotation. Hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Okay, this is moving. This is rotating up. I don't think the eye is out here. That's not happening. The eye is not out here. It looks like it's more in here. You see the rotation? You see the rotation around it? It's hard to see because it's not defined yet. But the eye looks like it's more over here. Not where they're saying it is. Out there. Let me see what the American is showing. I don't know about that. So again, if the eye ends up over here, going to sea, to the Gulf, well, that changes the whole trajectory coming up into the Panhandle. Because right now, this model has it more to the east, coming up. If this eye ends up more to the west, that changes the whole trajectory here. That's why this is important right now. Where does the eye come out? And the satellite imagery will start to show where that eye comes out over the Gulf of Mexico, the southern. So I'll be watching this today just to see where it ends up. Now the next alert's going to come out in 10 minutes. Actually, let me check Radar Omega. See, the bad thing about here, maybe we can get the key. Yeah, the key's not going to give us that radar loop yet. They're already getting rain out of this, of course in Cuba. The keys, not yet. There are so many alerts out there. Look at that. See, this one has it offshore too. I'm curious to see when this is updated in 10 minutes where they have it. That was the last NOAA update at 8 o'clock Eastern. The next one is going to be coming out really soon. The alerts, there's so many of them. Severe thunderstorm warning. Where's this? Georgia. What's going on in Georgia? Wow. That's what's going on. There's some nasty storms out there. That has nothing to do with the storm. Let's see, what about these flash flood warnings? Florida, Tennessee. There's a ton of them. There's a lot of alerts. Alabama, tropical. Wow. This is, look how far down the hurricane warnings go. Tropical storm surge warning. There's a bunch of them. There's 20 of them. Same thing. So it's going to be from here up. There's a ton of them. It's all up and down. I would almost say I wouldn't even count out Tampa. This whole area. Now, then, like I said, the next update's coming out any minute. We're gonna have to wait. It's still 8 o'clock Eastern. That's not what we want. That's in Spanish. So we're just gonna have to wait. I'm just gonna go down to here and get ready. Last updated. Not yet. So we'll wait 5 minutes. So the last pressure, let me go back to radar omega. I think it was 979 millibars. Let's see how much the pressure dropped, because that shows intensification. Now it's still over interacting with land, so I'm not expecting a lot. So the last one I think was 979 millibars. Yes. That's pressure. When that number goes down, that means the storm is stronger. And the opposite if it's going up. It's weaker. So you always watch the millibars. As you can see, when it was way out here, 1,000. 991. 986. And as of this morning, 979. That's what you watch, because that shows intensification when the pressure is dropping. So we'll keep this up because this next update's coming out within 5 minutes. Come on. Why aren't you going into motion? Are we stuck? Look stuck. Okay, oh, it did bounce. Okay. You see, it looks like the system is going more to the northwest right now. It looks like it's drifting. If I put the mouse on the beginning of this loop where the band, okay, let's go here. It's growing in size though. But see how it's pulling away to the north-northwest? If you look at it, it looks like the storm is going like this right now. That the overall system, look at the overall system. Which way does that look like it's moving? Looks like it's moving this way. See that? That's why they forecast the models, you know, it really depends where this eye ends up being once it enters the Gulf water. But right now, they're saying the eye is over here. There's no way. There's no way the eye is out here. There's just no way. No way. To me, it's over here, which is a big difference from here. It may not look like a much, but it means a lot to the people up there because of the track. Look at these outer bands already. And they say this thing is going to grow larger in size and, of course, intensify. It's a big storm. Okay, let's refresh this. It's coming out any minute. Still, we gotta wait. Any minute, this update's gonna come out. Yeah, it's gonna cover a lot of area, James. This is a big storm. And remember, it's gonna go up into Georgia, possibly Mississippi. You know, it's gonna affect, but that's not gonna be a hurricane, but they're gonna get a lot of rain out of this. And you know, water is the major cause of damage and sadly loss of life. It's the water. It's not necessarily the wind in a hurricane, it's the water. I'll just say damage as a result of hurricane. Oh boy. The dirt side, the dirty side, the right side. See, now that's just all that. Everything here is talking about. I'm just gonna put this here, so we could see this. It's still not updated. All right. Hurricane death causes. Let me just see. I'll just look it up here. So I'm going to save this image. I can't. So there's a pie chart here, but I don't want to share it and get in trouble. So from 2013 to 2022, deaths in relation to a hurricane, 57% freshwater flooding, storm surge 11, surf rip currents 15. Well, add the numbers up. It's water. It's water. The majority of loss of life is water. Wind is 12%. So do the math. It's the water. Oh, there it is. It just came out. They're still predicting a major. The Big Bend, that's the focus. The Big Bend. It's the Big Bend. Look how that thing's gonna curve. That is nuts. There's the hurricane warning, tropical storm. Wow, they extended the tropical storm warning all the way up into the Carolinas now. That wasn't there before. They extended it, tropical storm warning. Coastal Georgia and portions of South Carolina, that was added. That was not there earlier because of the size of this storm. That was not there. And there is that storm surge. What does that say? 12 plus in here. Even near Tampa, 5 to 8. And then north of that, a small area up to 12. Wow. Okay, this is, let's see. There it is, the storm surge map. This area that was focused on earlier. So look at the red. Greater than 9 feet above ground. The area I was focused on earlier. These people gotta be out of there. Look at the storm surge in red. Wow. Look how far south it goes. Oh my God. We're gonna have to look this up on the map. But that storm surge is going, look at how big the warnings are for that. 9 feet above ground. North of Tampa to the Big Bend. I'm trying to read Sugar Mill Woods, so it's north of that. So it's to the west of Citrus Springs. I want to look at a map in relation to that. Look at all that red. Okay, now I'm going to bring up Radar Omega, see if they updated it. I may have to close it out. Let's see, that's not telling me. May have to close it and reopen it to refresh it. I don't think they updated it yet. No, they didn't. Not yet. Nope. So this hasn't updated yet. go back to Noah. I can't see that. Current information. Let me make this bigger. Wind's at 80 now. Movement. I said it. North-northwest. Movement. North-northwest at 10. I knew it was going north-northwest. I said it. It is now a hurricane. Maximum sustained wind 80. It is officially a hurricane now. Wow. I seen that movement. I wasn't wrong. I'm just going to check this again. This one, I'm trying to find the millibars.
Taquito is adorable.
Tuh. He's a spoiled one.
He went on the bed.
See, on this one, they have the eye closer to the Yucatan, like I said.
Well, I know you're hungry.
Not like that model showed. It's closer to the
I
Yucatan.
gotta cook for you, Taco.
Wow, it's going to be a major hurricane way out here. Major hurricane when it makes landfall.
You're smart, Taco. You're smart too. You're the most beautiful thing. Mama's gonna cook for you now. Oh my God, this guy is so smart. I
Tropical
know that.
storm force winds are
Yeah, the baby. That's the baby.
pretty big area already
Taquito
of tropical
is the
force
baby.
winds.
Okay, Taco, let me cook for you.
Peak surge. Yeah. Rainfall potential. Wow, even inland. Look at that. This thing is going to bring a lot of rain. Look at that. Right in there, they're predicting a lot of rain. Risk of flash flooding. Moderate. At least 70% right here. Earliest reasonable arrival time, tropical force winds. Thursday, 8 a.m. See where they have it? Right off the Yucatan. That's what I saw. I didn't see what the models were showing on Windy, where it is. See, the rotation looks like it's right there. looks like it's right there. Right off the Yucatan Peninsula. Did they up this to finally? Nope. It's pretty bad. Give us a break.
Who's taking
Ah.
with you?
It is updated. What?
Yeah, he's sleeping.
The millibars has not changed. As of 15 minutes ago. And it says here, Hurricane Helene formed around the Northwest Caribbean as a Category 1 storm. That just came up on my alerts on my computer here. So, it is a hurricane now. Hurricane, officially, it is now Hurricane Helene. But the millibars did not change. It's still interacting with land. This is going near Acapulco. Tropical storm. There's another 7-day. Overall chance of tropical development for this one is high. That's probably the one that I was looking at that they say could potentially come into the Gulf. It's crazy. Crazy weather. But look, as it makes landfall, oh wow, they just increased it. That was 120 and 150. They just increased it to 125, 155. Oh my gosh. I did call it, right, James? I called it. I'm really good with weather. I study weather. Mom could tell you, I wanted to be a meteorologist when I was young. I really, really did. I loved weather since I was a little kid. I just, everybody has a dream of things when they're young, right? Astronaut, whatever. Well, mine was a weatherman, believe it or not. Mom, come here. I used to, right? I was crazy since a very little kid with the weather.
Oh, yeah.
How I was always watching weather and even on the boat.
I used to tell you should be a weatherman.
Yeah, even on the boat, I used to tell Dad, there's a storm coming. We need to go back to the marina. Remember?
Yeah.
And then when we would get back to the marina, it would start to rain and thunder, and we got back just in time.
Oh, my God.
Even as a little kid, I used to watch. I guess it came from the boat.
Oh, my God. I got to give the dog
I really think it has to do a lot because of the boat.
the cat's food.
Watching weather for, because, we would go over here. This is where the boat was. Right? Actually, there was many spots he had that, but a lot of the time the boat was right here in City Island.
You sure it's City Island?
Well, not really, but
Oh,
and this is the Long Island Sound. This
I
is
missed
excuse me, ma. This is salt water. Now, we used to go to Oyster Bay, which is you're going out a little bit. As it may not look like it's a long distance, but it's a nice little distance to go out there on the boat. There's Oyster Bay here. So here, we would go out to say that probably over here. Now
beautiful.
let me tell you, when that water is nice and calm in the Long Island Sound, but once a storm comes, that water gets rough. Rough.
I hope Tycho
And then he had his boat in Freeport at one point, which is in Long Island. and we would go out into the ocean. Freeport should be down here somewhere. It's not far from Jones Beach.
I miss those times.
Right? But we had a lot of time on the water. I mean, a lot of time on the water. Yeah. Oh, that's going too far north. That's the Hamptons. Where the hell is Freeport? All right, there's Jones Beach. Freeport is right next to it. And we would go out. Freeport's got to be in here. There's Freeport. So he had his boat like right here in a marina. Then we would go through all these canals to get out to the ocean. Now that's a different ball game. When you're out there, that's a different ball game in the ocean. But yeah, he had his boat in Freeport at one point. The marinas are all up in here. I would have to do a different map, but there's marinas everywhere in here. So yeah, his boat would either be here or in City Island of there somewhere. I loved fishing. I loved swimming. That was a big deal. So a lot of that came, the weather thing for me, came from observation on a boat from a little kid. And my father relied on me. He actually knew after a while to trust my judgment. Dad, there's a storm front coming through. And I'm telling you, you don't want to be on the water during a thunderstorm. No way. Dangerous.
Yeah.
So I am not kidding. Mom's right here. She could tell you, Dad, there's a storm. We need to get back to the marina. And then my mother, the nervous one, my father's name is Randy. Randy, we need to get back to the marina. Right, Ma?
Yeah, but you see it down there too. There was the sound and it was.
I just said that about the sound.
No, the sound and the other side was the ocean.
I just said that about the ocean.
Right? I mean, yeah.
So that's how it all started for me.
You grew up in the water.
I did. I grew up on the water. I spent a lot of my youth on a boat.
A baby. The kid.
But
Coño, where's
I got to go to a meeting soon. But
I don't know. I got brownie. It's in front, but I don't see Blackie.
oh, Mom, stop it with the cats. I fed them earlier this morning.
So you saw Blackie?
I saw both of them.
I know. I saw brownie. In
It's
front.
daytime. They go hunting for mice and all that other stuff. They go out. They're not just going to sit in front of the house 24/7.
It's not that. I'm afraid that they might get run by a car.
I know you've been saying that for 15 years.
That's what it is.
Oh, God. Unbelievable. Her obsession with the cats. It's too much. Okay, hold on. So, this is Google Earth. Just to give you an idea what I was just talking about, to be more precise. This City Island. It's loaded with marinas. It's a beautiful part of the Bronx. You'd be surprised. People don't understand if they've never been there. It's beautiful. At least it was when I was growing up. And we used to go eat there. Not Sammy's. I've been to Sammy's, but we used to go eating right here. Because not Johnny's. Tony's. This is Tony's. There's Tony's Pier. See? Sit outside, get the seafood. But my dad had his boat at one point in that marina, but also in this marina. Because the gas station was right here, and then go out. And this is Orchard Beach, Pelham Bay, not far from the house. So So this should be the gas. It's either one. It's either this one or that one. I don't know which one it is. I think it's this. Yeah, it is the gas pumps. It's still there. Those are the gas pumps. And then we would go out to here and out to the sound. There's the sound right here. I know all the fishing spots. I do. I know all the fishing spots, where to go. To this day, I know them all. Where to go for flounder, porgies, blackfish, bluefish, striped bass, you name it, I know where. What do you want to get? Let's go. I'm not kidding.
You can show them the picture of you with the fish.
You could bring it.
Yeah.
But as far as Freeport, now I know where it is.
And then, you know what he did to me?
Who?
You.
What did I do? Oh, I threw her striped bass back. That's what she's going to bring up. Because it wasn't the legal size.
It was.
It was
my,
not.
Oh my
I
God.
am.
Oh my
It has
God.
to be 28
Oh my
inches
God.
at the time.
Amy's my witness. Oh my God.
She'll argue with me that
You
to the
threw
end
it
of
there.
time.
That was nasty.
It has to be legal. I will not take it. I will not do that.
You did too much.
I'm sorry. It wasn't a legal fish.
No, it was.
It was not. We'll argue that to the end of time. Where is Freeport? That's Rockaway. Where am I? Yeah, that's Jones Beach. This is where the marina should be. Where the freak are they? Unless, well, here's some of them. I mean, I'm talking 20, 30 years ago. Shit changes. You can see how they developed it. They bought it. But there's still a few marinas there, but that's not how I remember, because I remember it being on this side of the canal. It looks like they moved it. They built homes. It's changed. It's changed over the years. Of course. But that's not the way I remember it. Because I remember the marina being on this side of the canal, not that side of the canal. It was on this side because I remember this. So this must be all new development. And it looks new.
That's Mount
20, 30 years ago new. That's what happened. Because that doesn't look right to me. All right, so Mom brought a picture. This was in Montauk, though, and this was off the shore that I
No,
love.
you were on the rocks, on top of the rocks. Remember the rocks there?
So I'll show that in a minute, which she used to freak out. This is one of my striped bass that I caught.
See how big is a monster?
Remember, over 28 inches is legal. That's one of the striped bass. I've caught many. But I threw hers back because it wasn't 28 inches.
You foolish shit.
No. Ma, we could argue that to, like I said,
Well,
forever.
maybe it was 1 inch, but it was just big.
It's still, you get in a lot of trouble for...
Yeah, get out of here. They give us a chance. They know it's in Montauk.
But to what she's saying on the rocks, because I have all the gear. I even have a thing called corkers. These things you put on your boots that have little spikes that you don't slip on the rocks. Because that's dangerous. I have all the gear. I have 16, 12s. I have all kinds of poles with pen reels. I've got lures. I've got the whole outfit. I've got the belt. I've got everything. I'm one of those. But she's talking about this. And it is true. And now I kind of feel freaked out that I used to do it. Because I'm a daring person. So right here, the tip of Long Island, Montauk. That's where we used to go a lot. And I used to go fishing off the shore. It's actually where I saw my UFO in 2000, where she rented a hotel. But right here, my favorite rock, there's two of them. You have to walk out to it Could be waist high. Depends on the tide. It's going to be right here. Right in here. I don't know if we'll be able to get it. You see these bigger rocks here, 1 and 2? See those two? That one, forget about that one. There's another one here, but I would never go to that one. So rock 1, rock 2. When this is high tide, there's water all around you. Oh, Mom.
It's on there.
Yeah, she wants me to show you the end, Mount Talk. Yeah, she wants me to show you that.
That's memories.
I know, take it. But I would stand, and people would wait. So I would get there at, she knows, 5 o'clock in the morning. Even if the tide is low, I'm getting my rock. I'm getting out there early to get my rock or the other rock. Because then people will be fishing in the water right next to you, waiting for you to get off the rock so they can get on the rock. That's why I just said it creeps me out now. James, that's why it creeps me out now. What you just said, great white hangout. I'll get to that. Because when this tide is up, the great thing, it's called, it's happening in a couple of weeks actually. It's called the Mount Talk Blitz. What happens is, and I'll explain that in a second, but I'm surrounded by water. When it's high tide, you're in the water. Now you can get off the rock and you'll be up to here in the water on high tide. And like I said, you see all that, those rocks, that's just slippery as hell. Walking out. And when it's high tide, you don't see that. You could really get hurt badly. It's so slippery. Now what you just said, a few years back, they found out right off Mount Talk Point, this is where the great whites have their babies, juveniles. So heck yes, you are potentially dealing with small great white sharks. You don't even know it. And what happens during the Mount Talk Blitz is the striped bass migrate.
Psycho.
This is how it works. Oh, Jesus Christ. They come from either up north or from the Sound, because the striped bass go up the Hudson River, believe it or not, to lay their eggs and spawn. So the striped bass will be in here during the summertime. But then, like now, they're starting to migrate. So they're going to go around the tip of Long Island and head south for the winter. And they're also going to come down from, like, say, the Cape, and they're going to migrate. And when they come around Mount Talk, they feed. It's a every year thing of bait fish, butterfish, all kinds of different fish, mackerel, bunker. They feed right off the tip. So you could be standing on a rock and schools, massive schools of striped bass, it looks like bubbling on the water. Big areas, it looks like bubbling. They're chasing the bait fish. It's like a striped bass feeding frenzy. So you take your lure, I use Super Strike, you cast past the bubbling, you reel, and since they're going nuts, you're going to get one. You could even snag them. But you're going to get one, most likely, if you know what you're doing. But at the same time, since that feeding frenzy is happening, what does that attract? Sharks, juveniles, bait fish. I did not know that at the time. We now know that now. So I'm definitely going to think twice ever when I go back to Mount Talk for the Blitz to be standing on a rock. Because, you know, great whites, juvenile or not, they can leap right onto a rock. Those rocks are barely above, you're standing right above the water level. It's not like you're high above the water. It's just right over the water. So a shark could easily come and slide and grab you. So yeah, that's scary. That's scary stuff. There. So will I do it? Probably. I'll probably still do it because I'm crazy like that. But there's other places obviously that I could be standing instead of there. But it's like so enticing to be on that rock out more, closer to where the stripers are, because you have nut jobs. You have nut jobs that while you're fishing on those rocks, and you're standing on those rocks here. So say I'm on those rocks. Actually, it's over here. Say I'm standing on those rocks. You got guys standing on the shoreline casting over you. Because there's so many fishermen trying to get the same thing. They're casting over your head. It's insane what happens for this. And I'm not about illegal fish being caught and all that, I actually at that point in time was part of the conservation groups, like for the state. And you don't know what I've witnessed. And it was disgusting. I reported it. And then they eventually put a DEC truck right outside to the parking lot. I'm not kidding. He would be parked right there. As people came out to go to their cars, watching who's carrying what fish. You know what they would do? They would catch the striped bass even if they were illegal on this beach, fillet them, leave the carcass, and just carry the fillet to the car. That's how they were getting around it. So then eventually they started to patrol the beaches during this time period for the blitz. Because people were finding another way around this. That shit pissed me off. Because here I am following the rules. You heard Mom when I threw her fish back. Here I am following the rules to conserve the striped bass, because at one point they were really endangered. So they enforced the code and restrictions on how many fish you can catch, the size, etc. But here you have idiots catching smaller striped bass, females that are important, gutting them, filleting them, leaving the carcass there, and bringing the fillet part in a bag to their cars. Now that's some bullshit.
Somebody's cutting grass.
That sounds like cutting wood with a chainsaw. That sounds like a chainsaw.
Yeah. Right behind the
So I used to get really upset on that. Because here there's other fishermen that take the sport catch and release. Now, I would take a few fish because we would bring it home to our neighbors. It's not like I'm catching and, my neighbors, right, Ma?
Yeah.
We would bring it for our neighbors because they liked it. But otherwise, if I caught a few, I'm catch and releasing. I'm not keeping them if I'm not going to eat them.
So sad.
I mean, what am I going to do with it? Now, there are people, and this is true, Mom can tell you, in Mount Talk, you would find Chinese, Japanese, that will buy your fish. Because
And they go for little fishes.
not only that,
Wait, let me tell the story. So they were getting those things that they eat at night or they fry. And then I said, they were talking like Chinese.
Mom scared them.
I scared the shit out
They
of
thought
them.
Mom was ICE.
Person, how do you call it?
Are you the ICE?
A person that
Immigration.
immigration.
ICE.
Yeah, they thought
They
it
got
was
scared and they
immigration.
ran. And they were out.
They
But
were
that was
out.
years ago. But anyway,
They were out.
not
I'm so
only
sorry
can
for
you
that.
catch striped bass
Are you
here.
Japanese? Are you
Now, I've never got one because I wasn't going for it. Right here along these rocks, there's a whole bunch of fishermen here at the point. Tuna. You can get tuna here as well. They come in. What's up, Chaos? I got to get off in like 2 minutes because I got to go to a meeting. So, yeah, this is the lighthouse, the Mount Talk Lighthouse.
I got it here.
She's got a lot. The one in front of my house
It's
is a model of the Mount Talk Lighthouse. If you ever see, I don't think the garage camera will pick it up.
Yeah, I got it here.
I don't think it'll pick it up.
The Amish did it for me.
Yeah, that storm is scary.
Tell them that the Amish.
I know, we know, Mom.
You always say what you want to say.
My gosh.
Tell them that the Amish did it for me in Pennsylvania.
I'm sure you've seen the lighthouse, the 7-foot high lighthouse model we have in front of the house. Well, it's there because of Mom. She wanted the Mount Talk Lighthouse in front of the house. Where Keith, P&K, had, because he works with the Amish at the time, and they're the ones who make these beautiful, I forgot what it's made from, but it never fades. It's
Forever.
like forever. We've had it for years already, and it's like unbelievable. Yeah, they're cutting wood.
Yeah.
He's cutting wood next door.
Save money for the fireplace.
Well, thanks to Woody and Petita for helping us with the wood when he brought that
That was so beautiful.
in the truck.
They're beautiful people.
They are beautiful people.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Where is Blink? I can't find Blink on my computer right now, and I need to get off. Where is Blink? Oh, it's up there. I don't know if my garage camera was going to pick this up. The lighthouse. I think it might be out of view.
You think so? I don't think so. It's so big.
What?
Well, you're talking about the lighthouse.
Yeah, but I have the cameras outside. I don't know if it'll pick up. Yeah, that hurricane, please, people, if you live in the Big Bend area or points from Tampa north along the coastline, please
Evacuate.
take this very seriously. Do not take chances. If you live in the coastal areas with the storm surge especially, please do not take chances. You're risking your life, your family's life. Help your neighbors, seniors.
On my door, the door. I think I carried
It's not good. Are you going to be streaming tonight? I got to do a pre-record tonight, and I got to help a show host tonight. I will try to be on. Okay, I'll try. I will try. I can't promise tonight because I got a lot of things going on.
You beat up.
And I'm beat up, and I want to go bike riding after the meeting today. If there's no rain. I haven't gone bike riding in 3 days. I'm freaking out.
Alexa, what's the weather for Newburgh today?
Currently in Newburgh,
Alexa,
New York.
stop. It doesn't work that way. You got to go on the radar. You can't go based on a forecast.
I thought you always do that when it's gonna rain.
No, because I have to look at the radar. It doesn't mean that it's going to rain. If there's showers in the air, it doesn't mean the showers are coming here. You have to look at the radar. Radar tells me everything, not a forecast.
I know, but Alexa's good. She tells you good stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Alexa, I love you.
There's too much.
Alexa, I love you.
That's so nice of you to say.
Alexa, go to sleep.
Thanks. It's good to be appreciated.
Oh no, you can't see it. You can't see the lighthouse. It's out of view. It's out of view. Cannot see the lighthouse.
You better be nice to my Alexa.
You cannot see the lighthouse. I'm looking at the camera now for the garage. Lighthouse is not in view.
The mom told?
Yeah, I may have a picture of it, but I don't have time. I got to get off. I got a meeting in 5 minutes. Nah, really 10 minutes, but still.
So beautiful.
I'm not leaving yet, James. Give me 5 minutes. I want to see if I could find A picture of Mom's Madness. I actually like it. I'm not gonna lie. I actually do like it. Oh my God! Now this is not gonna work. James, I'm telling you, be careful with this storm too, because it's continuing to move north-northwest. Depending on where this eye emanates from in the Gulf, could determine its overall trajectory and path. Do not. I mean, I know what they're forecasting, but that changes. You have to be very, very careful when you're dealing with this stuff. I'm trying to see if I have a picture of this lighthouse.
You're in Malta?
Your lighthouse outside.
Oh, my beautiful lighthouse. I hope you just so they could see how beautiful. It's the same. I love the Amish. They do beautiful.
Maybe it's in here. It's the wrong way. You know I won't say that loosely, James. I'm just saying keep an eye on your weather. Seriously. Save pictures. He's going to town.
Yeah, there's better be a lot of thing there.
He told me he was going to do that. He's got a lot of wood piled that he wants to cut up. The only thing is, they don't know better. You cannot burn willow. You cannot burn willow. But I don't say nothing. I don't know. No, it's not that one. Not that one. No, that's the front of the house. No. Let's try this one, then I'll give up. I'm trying. I got literally a few minutes.
You want coffee?
I had coffee already.
Oh,
I bought, now that my teeth are completely good to go with the dentist, I'm going to make steak today in the smoker.
I already saw the steak. You were assisting in that.
I am. I have the rub. I have the rub for the steak. I'm going to make it in the smoker.
With adobo and all that stuff.
Hell no. Adobo. Are you crazy? I'm going to ruin a steak with adobo?
Oh, shut up, Billy, stupid. I'm telling you.
That's nasty.
Stupid. That gives it a good flavor.
Ew.
What you call that? That stuff to that here or something like that.
Ugh.
Yeah. Come on, you're Spanish. Stop the fucking shit already.
I don't think this one is going to capture it. No. That's when I built the fence. Okay. I built that gate myself, believe it or not. I built everything. Actually, this is a picture of the gate when it was done. I built that.
Yep.
Myself.
Yep.
I did that concrete on the floor too.
With my molding.
Let's see. I'm trying to see. If I have these pictures, where is the lighthouse? What is this? Oh, that's when I was building it. The studs. That's when I was building it. Where is that? No. That's when I was building the fence on the side of the house. That's actually a doorway frame that I had built. What's this one? I can't see, the picture small. Okay, that's the pool when I built the fence back there. Okay, let's get rid of some of these. I've done a lot of work in this house.
Yep.
You have no idea.
Especially that pool, I couldn't imagine.
All myself.
Yep. Oh no, my mom helped a little bit.
I cannot see this.
Holding the stuff for him.
How could that be?
You'll find it, Billy.
I don't have much time, Ma.
It's there. It's just him. I gotta put my eye drops.
Christmas lights. That's dark. That's not going to show it. This Tycho. Maybe this one? Maybe? No, that's the other side. It's on the other side. This side? Wrong side. Oh my God, I'm getting every one but the right one. Oh my God. It's right next to that. That's the back. That is crazy. I've got every freaking picture. This is all Christmas. I can't believe it.
Believe it, believe it.
Camera roll. No. Nah, don't jinx me.
I'm not thinking you. That is wrong with you. I'm sitting over here. I see like what's on that wall? Like it's like orange. Did I have a picture there or what? I don't like it.
You're a jinx. You know that? A jinx.
Abracadabra. Yeah.
You're crazy. You know that? Abracadabra.
The witch. Yeah.
You know, it's funny because when I went to an air show a few years ago, I took a picture of this. It was getting repaired at Stewart. And I took a picture. I said, oh, look at that. It's Trump's plane.
Stewart Airport.
Yeah, I remember that.
I love that airport. Oh my God. That's the best. Ay, ay, ay. That's the best airport. So beautiful. Especially to go to Florida. Oh my God. It's not even so close. Gabby have to go to Germany. It's what? 8 hours to Germany. She has to go to New York to take the plane. Remember, baby?
Yes, I remember.
It's 8 hours from here to Germany. I will never be on a plane for 8 hours. Never in my life.
Because you're a chicken.
No, because my father had a house in Puerto Rico. He was fixing something and we had to go over there and the plane almost crashed.
Yeah, she was on a plane where, years ago when she was a kid, where the plane, when they landed, it was missing
Everything.
parts. It was like peeling.
Mm-hmm.
It was a miracle they even landed.
Yep. Yep.
True story.
Thanks God to that pilot.
Oh my God, I can't find it.
You know why? And it was at nighttime and it was thundering, Billy.
It was thundering. Yes, it was thundering.
At nighttime, in the dark.
A lot of thunder. Lots of thunder.
In the dark.
I'm giving up. I'm never going to find it. I'm going to take a picture later. I'll just take a picture later and just post it. I need to go. But yeah, it's like this all day long, James. It's like this. This is the way it is here. This is how we deal with each other all day.
And why not?
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I didn't say it was a bad thing.
It's a good thing that a mother and the son or anybody in the family should have a nice relationship.
Oh my God. I'm in trouble.
That's what life is all about. That's why they say family.
Oh my God. I'm going down. I'm looking at my phone right now.
I'm looking at the planes outside.
Go outside. Yeah, good idea.
Coming down.
Say hello. Wave hello.
They will see me.
Not if they're low enough, they could.
Yeah, they will see me. Because when you're on a plane, you look down and you see.
I'm gonna give this one last shot. Last shot. Then I gotta go right away. Maybe I took a picture on my phone. All for a lighthouse. Can you believe this? Oh, that's Roswell. What the hell? Ma, stop it with the cats, please.
You better shut up. When it comes to the cat, and when it's going to time,
But now you're just going crazy with this cat.
I want to see what black is.
I mean, seriously.
Doesn't matter. Am I putting this in front of your face? No. I'm a distance for you. How many feet? Stop it, Billy.
I don't worry about you. I worry about Tycho.
Psycho, it's in the room.
Oh, I found one. I found one. It's at night, but you see it lit up. It's on my phone. There it is, lit up at night. That is the Mount Tauk Lighthouse in the winter. Right there. It's all lit up. That's 6 feet high. Right here, look, look, look.
It looks beautiful.
That's the lighthouse
Wow.
in front of the house. And
Where's
it's
it?
at night, it's lit up. And I've got lights to spotlight it, to brighten it up.
Let me look at it again. It looks gorgeous.
And then on the top, it's a solar light, and it lights up like that. That is a replica of the Mount Tauk Lighthouse.
Yep. That's the real thing.
This thing is at least 6 feet high, because I put it on pavers, and then I put a slab on top of the pavers. It sits above water because I didn't want it to sit in water on the ground. So I raised it, and then I connected the solar. It was already, the Amish had built that already like that. So that's the lighthouse.
How much I paid? 1,000?
Something like that. It's not cheap
Nope.
for those. Not cheap.
Hey.
But it's beautiful. It's still out there. It lights up every night still. It's beautiful. Anyway, I gotta go. Isn't it nice? It's beautiful. Mom had to do that outside. She's got shells. She's got rocks, like to make it look like it's a beach. She's got a mermaid out there. She's got all kinds of stuff around this lighthouse. It's like, I might as well get like a little kiddie pool filled with water with a pump and put like fish. I might as well go all out.
A fish tank.
I mean, anyway, I'm out. Goodbye. Later, Kevin. Later, Chaos, if you're still there. Candace, anybody else? I gotta go. Have a great rest of your day. Be well. And if you live in the Gulf areas of Florida, please be careful. Prayers, thoughts and prayers go out to all those in Florida. Anyone who's affected by this hurricane. It's heavy. It is heavy. But it's made like out of a fiberglass thing. It's beautiful. Anyway, I gotta go. Oh my God. See everybody later. I'm out.